Teacher said participation grades rewarded those who showed up prepared, so I documented every class he canceled without notice. We had a syllabus day lecture in September. Professor Whitfield stood at the front of the auditorium and told us participation was 30% of our grade. He said showing up was the bare minimum. Preparation showed respect for the material, for him, for our own education. Meanwhile, I'd already walked to this building twice that week for his office hours and found his door locked both times. No note, no email, nothing. A girl next to me whispered that he'd canceled 3 classes last semester with 0 warning. I raised my hand. What happens if we show up prepared and class gets canceled? Professor Whitfield smiled. That rarely happens, but when it does, you'll be notified. I said, and if we're not notified? He stopped smiling. That's enough questions. It wasn't. I went back to my dorm that night and pulled up the university's faculty guidelines on the portal. Professors were required to provide at least 24 hours notice for cancellations, except in emergencies. Repeated unexcused absences could result in administrative review. The syllabus itself said attendance was mandatory and that unprepared students would lose points. I started paying attention. The first week of October, no class and no email until an hour after the scheduled time. 2 weeks later, a cancellation posted at 8:45 for a 9-hour class. The week after that, he simply never showed up, and none of us got any notification at all. I started keeping records, screenshots of the empty classroom with timestamps, photos of his dark office during posted hours, emails that came too late. I built a folder tracking every instance. Other students in the class noticed what I was doing. They wanted in. He canceled again, and the email came 6 hours later. I drove 40 minutes to campus for nothing this morning. By early November, I had documented 15 cancellations with inadequate or 0 notice. I surveyed 60 students across his 3 sections. Combined, they'd lost over 200 hours of commute time and parking fees for classes that never happened. I calculated what that meant in wasted gas and lost wages from shifted work schedules. If our unprepared attendance was worth a grade penalty, his absent teaching was worth something too. I compiled everything into a formal report, organized by date, cross-referenced with the faculty guidelines, and highlighted every policy violation. Then I walked into the department chair's office and asked to file an academic complaint. The meeting was in the administration building. Department Chair Okonkwo, Professor Whitfield, me, and a student advocate I'd requested. Whitfield had his arms crossed before I sat down. I've seen this complaint, he said. It's exaggerated. Dr. Okonkwo held up my folder. 15 documented cancellations, screenshots, timestamps, student testimony. This is comprehensive. Whitfield waved his hand. Professors have unpredictable schedules, research commitments, conferences, family emergencies. I leaned forward. On syllabus day, you said participation showed respect for our education. That showing up prepared was the bare minimum, right? He nodded slowly. So when I miss one class for a documented medical appointment, I lose participation points. But when you cancel 15 classes with no notice, that's just an unpredictable schedule? That's different. How? He didn't answer. I kept going. You said attendance was mandatory, that we needed to respect your time and the material. So shouldn't you model that same respect? Or does it only apply when you're grading students who are paying $40,000 a year? Okonkwo put down the folder. I think we need to examine attendance accountability across the department. Whitfield's face went red. This is absurd. Is it? I pulled out one final document. His course evaluations from the past 3 years alongside grade distributions. Students who complained about cancellations consistently received lower participation scores than those who didn't. According to your own syllabus, you were penalizing students for noticing your absence while rewarding those who stayed quiet. The room went dead silent. The changes came faster than I expected. First, a department-wide policy requiring 48-hour cancellation notice with automatic participation credit for affected students. Whitfield was furious. Other professors grumbled about micromanagement. Then, the syllabus template got updated. Participation grading now required documented criteria. No more subjective penalties. Just one line in the new academic handbook. Faculty and students share mutual responsibility for consistent, prepared attendance. Faculty and students. Same sentence, same standard. The day final grades posted, I got full participation credit despite missing his makeup lecture. I walked past Whitfield at graduation. He saw me, he saw my honors cord, he didn't say a word.